So there was a farmer who went out and bought a young rooster. Well, as soon as he brings him home, the young rooster rushes out and services all 150 of the farmer's hens. The farmer was pretty impressed. At lunchtime, the young rooster again jumps out there and quickly does his job on all 150 hens. The farmer isn't just impressed anymore, he's a little worried. Well, next morning, not only is the rooster up doing the hens, but he's hopping up on the turkeys, the ducks, even the cows. Well, later the farmer looks out into the barnyard and finds the rooster stretched out, limp as a rag, his eyes closed, dead, legs in the air and vultures circling overhead. The farmer runs out, looks down at the young rooster's limp body and says, "You deserved it, you horny bastard." And just like that, the young rooster opened up one eye, points up at the vultures circling with his wing, and says, "Shh, they're about to land." So the Johnson brothers were enlisting in the army, and they were getting their physicals. Well, during the inspection, the doc was surprised to discover that both of the Johnsons had, well, really long Johnsons. "Well, how do you account for this, Johnson?" he asked. "Well, it's hereditary, sir," the older one replied. "I see," said the doc, writing in his file. "So your father's Johnson's the reason for the Johnson?" No, sir, it's our mother." "Your mother? Come on, Johnson. You know women don't have Johnsons." "I know, sir," replied the recruit, "but she only had one arm, and when it came to getting us out of the bathtub, she had to manage best she could." So my wife and I were married 25 years, and one day I took a look at her and said, "Honey, 25 years ago, we had a cheap apartment, a cheap car. We slept on a pull-out sofa bed and watched a 10-inch black and white TV. But I got to go to bed every night with a hot 25-year-old blonde. Now we got a nice house, a nice car, big bed, and a big screen TV. I'm sleeping with a 50-year-old woman. Seems to me you're not holding up your end of the bargain." Wife, pretty reasonable woman. Well, she looked at me and told me to go ahead and go out and find a hot 25-year-old blonde. No problem. But she would make sure that once again, I'd be living in a cheap apartment, driving a cheap car, and definitely sleeping on a pull-out sofa bed.